Maybe you're ready to start tournament fishing. You don't have a boat yet, so you decide that you're going to register as a co-angler. That's one of the best ways, one of the absolute best ways for you to start tournament fishing is to fish as a co-angler. But let me know if this sounds like you. It's a little bit intimidating. I know, especially if you're a man and you listen to this, it's hard to admit, but sometimes it can be a little bit scary because now you're about to spend an entire day, 8, 9, 10 hours with somebody you don't know in his very, very expensive boat. A lot of times the day starts off, hey, get in the boat and just come back and pick me up. And maybe you've never drove a boat before. What do you do? Or maybe he even throws you the keys and say, hey, back me down, and you've never backed a trailer before in your life. That's very scary. That's very intimidating to back a guy's $100,000 boat down a ramp. His $100,000 truck, all of a sudden you're responsible for all of that. And then when you get on the water and you start fishing, you're not sure where you're supposed to cast. You're not sure when you're supposed to talk. You're not really sure where you can step, where to put your fish. All those different things can weigh on you if you're a co-angler. In this video, I just shared just a clip from my school where I talked to the members of my school about fishing as a co-angler. It doesn't have to be scary. Most boaters, I want to stress, most boaters are fairly nice people. Everybody just wants to go out on the lake and have a good day. There is that occasional prick and that occasional butthole. Not gonna act like that. There's no buttholes out there. Some guys are pricks. But overall, there's just a few small things you need to know. In this video, I'm just going to share a few of those things. If you want to listen to the entire 2-hour conversation about it, you can go and register for my school. It's sufschool.com. Straight Up Fishing School is what that stands up for. We talk about all things fishing, from fishing as a co-angler, owning boats, the right tow vehicle, the right baits to throw, where to go throw those baits. We talk about everything fishing. If you have questions about fishing, if you're new to fishing, not sure what gear to use, where to go, my school can help solve your problems for you. sufschool.com. Check this clip out. Leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know about your co-angler experience. What's some things that you struggle with? What's some things that are intimidating to you? And what's some things, maybe some good experiences that you've had in the past? I'd love to hear about them in the comment section of this video. I want to talk a little bit about etiquette, what you can expect to have to do when you show up to a tournament. And when I'm talking about etiquette here, I'm mainly speaking about mostly you beginner fishermen that you just may not know. Some things you may not know, and quite honestly, nobody's even talking about it or telling you. So you want to understand these things is very important because you could club fishing, especially on the club level. Yes, they have the power to exercise you. They have the power to kick you out and tell you not to come back. It is definitely invite only, or they have to let you in the front door. So you do want to know and be nice. Everybody just wants to have a good day on the water. So there's a few things you definitely want to know. Number one on my list, number one thing that I put down, don't share locations. Especially if you're a non-boater and you're going fishing with someone in that bass club. A lot of times you may have to switch around with different boaters within your club. Do not share fishing locations unless they give you permission to. What I mean by that, let's break it all the way down. If John Rice takes you to that hump in the front of Wakamalulu Island, and y'all call it 20 pounds there, when you fish with William Bryce, don't tell William Bryce that John fished that island in Wakamalulu and caught 20 pounds. Don't tell other people where you caught fish with another boater. Don't do that. That's the biggest way to upset your entire club, your entire fishing circle. Do not do that. Don't post pictures on Facebook unless they give you permission. Don't do any of that. It's going to really upset a lot of people. You may not know that. Seems like the low-hanging fruit, but if you're new to tournament fishing, you would not know. How would you know that? You thought you were just having a good time and you want to go back to the ramp and share those experiences with your friends. Don't do that. Don't share the fishing locations. Secondly, be transparent. about what you can and can't do. Especially if you're new to tournament fishing, you never fished in a tournament before. Most tournament organizations let you use a net. And if you don't know how to net a fish, never had netted a fish before, just be upfront with your boater. Say, hey, look, we're in this together, bro. I'm willing to help you. I'm there for you. I want to do as much as I can to be an asset today, but I have never netted a fish before. Will you please be patient with me with that? Will you teach me how to do it? Or would you like to net the fish your own? What do you want me to do when you get a fish on? What do I want the boater to do when I get a fish on? Try to have that conversation. Maybe not first thing in the morning because that can be hectic, but maybe early in the day when you get to your first spot and you start fishing, you can feel the nerves and tension kind of let down a little bit. Hey, man, what do you want me to do when you get a fish on? But if you don't know how to fish and you go swinging the net at a bass and you knock it off, that boater gonna be upset. Now you probably won't get a you know, eviction notice, but he's probably gonna be pretty upset. And so, like I said, everybody wants to have a good day on the water. So, you know, just be upfront, be transparent. Listen, be transparent about what you can and cannot do with the boat and truck in the morning. When you get to the lake, if you never backed a trailer before, probably don't back the guy's $80,000 boat down the ramp. Just tell him like, hey man, I'm really not comfortable with that. How can I help you? But I'm really not comfortable driving your truck and boat. I just haven't done it before. In a club tournament, especially, there's going to be enough people around there that they can get the boat in the water. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You know what's embarrassing is when you knock my guy's trailer into a tree or to another truck and you messed up two boats at the same time. Don't throw across lines. If you're fishing in the back of the boat, you're fishing in the back of the boat. I got close because I wanted to make sure I convey that message. You're fishing in the back of the boat. You fish in the back of the boat. I can say all this stuff about imaginary lines and all this stuff. All I wanted you to know is if I'm in the front and I cast at X, Y, and Z dock, there's no reason for your line to go anywhere past where I'm looking. If it helps you out, I always tell my kids this. When we're fishing, they have a tendency they throw anywhere. Kids throw anywhere. Y'all know that if you got any kids. They don't give a gosh dang where you fishing. They will throw over your line, under your line, in the motor, in the trolling motor, in the live well. They don't give a god dang where they throw. They're gonna throw whatever they want to do, however they want to do it. If my line hits there, to help you not throw across my line, the best thing you can do is orient your shoulders at a 90-degree angle towards the boat. So if I'm fishing this way, I'm throwing this way, keeping ahead of the boat. To keep you from staying ahead of me, just turn your shoulders. It's hard to throw that way. You're going to throw whichever way you're looking. So if you're looking up there at me and you know you're having trouble staying behind my line, just pivot your shoulders a little bit. It'll keep you from throwing the wrong way. It's almost impossible to throw that way where your shoulders are pointed this way. That will really irritate your boaters, and it irritates me. You're going to rush him. You're not going to help you. A lot of your club tournaments, you're going to have a shared weight, and there's no reason for you to, especially if you're fishing isolated cover and doing stuff like that, just making bad casts, it does affect the fishing, especially on high pressure bodies of water. If you're making very inaccurate, clunky casts, it affects the fishing. It makes it worse. So don't rush your boater. Let him get to it. Make your cast when you're in position to make the cast. Conversely, don't fish too far behind the boat either. Because when you fish directly behind the boat, now when you hang up, I got to circle the boat all the way back around and it costs us time. So just fish. You can fish, just don't get ahead of the guy in front of you. When you're in the tournament, if you pull up to a bridge corner, you pull up to a row of docks, pull up to an island, any kind of isolated piece of structure, and one of your other club members are fishing that piece of structure, and you see them catch fish, don't pull up and start fishing. That's off the table. It's off the table. I don't care if you caught them there when you were 2 years old, or you caught them there last week or in practice, or whatever the case may be. If you see somebody fishing somewhere, and especially if they're catching something, go the opposite way their boat is pointed. Don't go around that. Don't go around it at all. That's let them fish that. Just let them have it. Especially in a club tournament. It gets a little different when you're in bigger tournaments with 150, 200 boats, 250 boats. Sometimes you just got to fight for what you can get. When you guys are in these club tournaments, there's 10, 12, 15. Most of the time, that's how big they're going to be. Anywhere from 6 to 20, 30 boats. There's some bigger clubs out there, 30, 50 boats. But a lot of your club tournaments are going to be like 6 boats, 12 to 50 people is all it's going to be. There's plenty of room on the lake, man. Like, then you can spread out. Once you start joining some of these other tournaments, no, there's no room on the lake. I'm going to fish here with you. But in a club tournament, there's really no reason to be fishing on top of one another. It makes no sense unless you got some kind of agreement with a buddy, or you fish with Bill and y'all live beside each other and y'all have fished that too or whatever. But chances are, if you never fished a tournament before, it's good to know when you see somebody, especially if they're catching fish, do not fish the same structure. Okay, don't fish that. If you've never fished a tournament before, I would highly suggest that you guys join a club. So club fishing, very easy to find compared to how it was in my day. Back when I was, 15, 16 years old, which I had a cheat code because my dad was a tournament fishing. But back when I was younger, this was even kind of pre-internet days. Honestly, there was a little bit of stuff out there on the internet, but now you guys have social media, you got the internet. This is all you have to do. If you're interested in joining a club tournament, as simple as this: get your phone, Google tournament bass fishing clubs on X, whatever your home lake is. Tournament bass fishing clubs on my home lake. My home lake, plug in your lake. Guarantee you'll pop up. You'll get. I did it before I did this live. Before I plugged in, I made sure, because I haven't fished a club in probably 15 years. But I did it. And all these clubs, I put in bass fishing clubs near Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. I got clubs from Georgia, Toccoa, all of them popped up. Anderson, Williamston, everywhere popped up on my phone. That's all you have to do. If you join that Facebook page, if you find, a lot of them have Facebook pages. A lot of bass fishing clubs have Facebook pages or some type of social network page. You can go in there, send them a message. Hey, I'm John Jones. I want to fish your tournament. When is your schedule? And what are the rules? Get them rules, because club guys, man, let me tell you, when it comes to fishing, club guys, they kind of make up the rules as they go. So that is the one negative. But I will tell you, just go to Google, tell them who you are, introduce yourself. Most of the fishing community is very inviting. They'll let you fish. You pretty much pay your entry fee. A lot of your club tournaments are going to be fairly cheap, 25 to maybe $50, unless it's went up in the last few years. But for the most part, our entry fees have been the same since I started fishing. BFLs in 2002. Listen, literally 21 years ago, a BFL entry fee was $200. $200. Bring them to the scales. Pop, pop, $200. This is how much it costs to fish a BFL. You know how much it costs to fish a BFL in 2024? Maybe it's 225. It ain't went up none. Everybody, but that's not a popular conversation because everybody wants to. Everything is so expensive, which everything is expensive. But tournament entry fees, other than the pro fishing, is the exact same what it used to be. So I would imagine if you want to fish a club tournament, it's probably going to be somewhere between 25 and $50, maybe $100 max. Okay, get in those tournaments, show up, ask them if you don't have a boat. Ask whoever the club president is. Hey, I don't have a boat. Do you have anybody in your club that's looking for a partner? And And that's how you get connected.
Fishing doesn't have to be hard. In fact, it's actually very easy and very simple. I think I know exactly what you're looking for. Most of us are not going to fish tournaments on a very, very high level. You're probably not going to fish the Elite Series, trying to make the Bassmaster Classic or the Bass Pro Tour. What you really want to do is you probably want to go out with your family and friends. You probably want to go out in your club tournaments, your time off of work, and you want to enjoy your time on the water by catching fish. There's nothing that makes fishing more enjoyable than actually catching fish. I can help you with that. There's just a few simple truths that you need to know to be able to catch fish. It's very simple. You just need to know where to go and what to throw once you get there. And I can help walk you through the very small granular details of those two topics. Join my school at sufschool.com, and I promise you, you'll start to catch more fish.